Now, in this analysis we want to do now, we want to show how to do a repeated measure analysis of variances. I want to show how to do a repeated measure analysis of variances. Now, the repeated measure analysis of variances is in the statistics menu. We open the statistics menu. We go to analysis of variances and then go to the sub menu there and choose repeated measure. Now, what is repeated measure? Repeated measure analysis is analysis that shows us the particular effect of certain measures over time on the outcome or dependent variable. Now, we are going to talk about, in this particular one, we are going to talk about how pre-tax campaigns or incentives affects the tax compliance. Now, in this particular case, we have about 5 groups of companies. The first one is manufacturing, you have banking, you have oil company, you have service companies, and you have construction companies. So those are the 5. And we want to see how these 5 groups, how they actually comply based on the incentives or the campaigns that were given to them. Now, let's now start. The dependent variable in this case is compliance. Then the independent variable here, which is within group variables here, is let's say pre-tax 1, then pre-tax 2, then pre-tax 3, and pre-tax 4. Here we are trying to say that there are about 4 pre-tax campaigns or measures that were taken to ensure that they comply. Now let us see how these pre-tax campaigns, how they affected the compliance by each of the group involved. Now, the next thing we are going to define is the task group. Now, in the task group, I think that's how we defined it. Now, I want to show you this before we process this. Now, yeah, so now you can see. Okay, the task group, good. Now, the task group is, so you can see this is the dependent variable. That is how they complied. Now, this is the task group. This is the time. The time here has no effect in this one. And then the pre-tax campaign value, the pre-tax 2 campaign value, pre-tax 3 campaign value, then pre-tax 4 campaign value. And then we are still going to do the incentives, but not now. Let us finish with this one, unless maybe let us see if we can also add this. We can add the incentive 1, incentive 2 to the campaigns and see how everything pans out. Now let's see. Now the task group is GRP. Now let's go back to that incentives and see, that within group variable and complete it. We have incentives. incentive 1. Yeah, I think that is correct. Incentive 2, that is also correct. Then incentive 3. That is also correct. Okay, I think having finished with all this, so we are now going to deal with 7 repeated measures and how they affected the compliance. Now, we have already defined the group, that the group ID or subject name, and then also the data file name. We can leave it as it is. Yeah, so we just simply press process RMA, that repeated measure ANOVA. So now the repeated measure ANOVA has been processed, but I think it's still being processed. The following ID values are not present. Okay, that have incentive. We made a mistake. You can see we didn't type the names very well. So for that reason, it did not process. So I have to go back to do the needful again. You see, this is one of those things that I talked about. I have to go back to do the needful again. So we cancel, then we'll call up the program again. So, and we go back to our menu, statistics, analysis of variances, repeated measure analysis, ANOVA. Then we wait for the form. And this time around, we better not miss it. Yeah. Okay, we can even start with any one. It doesn't really mean that we must start the way it is arranged. So we can start with incentives. Let's say first of all, let's define the dependent variable, which is compliance. Then we define incentive 3. And you are putting it in any order now, so that incentive 1. I have to be very careful not to make the same mistake before. Then incentive 2. Then pre-tax 4, pre-tax 1, pre-tax 3, pre-tax 2. I think that's it. So we now look at the tax group, and of course the RMA is correct. Now let's process it and see. Good. So you can see it has started this because everything is correct now. So it started. Now look very well. You see, it grouped the whole thing according to the task group: manufacturing, service industry, banking, construction, and oil. With the manufacturing, being higher. Now let's look at the next one. This is the box plot for them, for the 5 different industries. Manufacturing is still higher, and then now this is the line graph still with this time around is showing both the incentives as well as the pre-tax campaign. You can see that pre-tax campaign are far lower than the incentives that was granted. So now, and then this is the box plot again, and then this one is the I think the histogram or so. That's it for them. That is this. Now, the essence of this is just to show you that a lot of graphs or plots are included, and it's left for the user or the researcher to select the one that is most relevant, that can explain what he or she has done. So that's it, and then that's it. Now let us now look at the figures produced. We have seen the plot. Let's look at the figures. The analysis, which is the repeated measure analysis, is a very dynamic one. Now look at the ANOVA that is producing. The degree of freedom is 624, and then the F value is 110.9284, and then the probability of F is 0.0, which means it is very, very significant. That is the model fits very well. Now we look at other thing here. Monthly test of sphericity is always a good test that will show the sphericity of the data distribution. You can see the sphericity sphere results. The sphere equals to true. That is, it is the sphericity is not violated. Then you have W equals to 1 point. Then chi-square is this, and then a degree of freedom is 20. Then p-value is 0.5, which is not significant, showing that it is not violated. Then Shapiro weak test for normality. Shapiro result statistics 0.0. The p-value is 1.84. I think that's in scientific notation. That could have been either when you convert it, you know exactly what it is. And when you convert that particular figure there, you know exactly what it is. Then you have the Levant test. The Levant test is for homogeneity of variances. This one has its own. The Levant test, the Levant is 0.25, and then W is 0.90, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so then we have Tukey's pairs of HSD. This is a post hoc test. Now, the post hoc test, Tukey's pairs of HSD, Tukey's pairwise HSD test, multiple comparison of means, Tukey HSD test is given here. Now, it shows that we should not reject, that is, all this, that's everything that to reject is false, which means we should accept. That's what it means. Meaning that according to the F statistics, the model fits very well. So therefore, all other things are they are good. So these are other words that you do. Then you have Bonfreni's post hoc, which is also showing false, and Bonfreni's p-value test, which is 111 each, which means they are really insignificant. So we should not reject the null hypothesis. We should not. So the null hypothesis is true. And then, of course, the Bonfreni's t-test is showing a significance of, or rather, not significant this time around. It's the t-test result, which is this 0.000, and so on and so forth. So now that is about the repeated measure analysis in this case. Yeah, so